Have you ever felt that little shiver of anxiety when you're chopping vegetables, or maybe found yourself really unnerved by the sight of a needle? Well, today we're going to dive into a specific and incredibly intense fear that goes way beyond just a simple case of the nerves. We're talking about Aichmophobia, the fear of sharp objects.
And that's a really important question, right? It gets to the very heart of what we're exploring. Look, a lot of us are cautious around sharp things, and that's totally normal. It's a survival instinct. But when does that caution cross the line and become a phobia that can actually take over your life? Let's find out.
Okay, so to really get a handle on this, we need to know exactly what we're talking about. Let's break down what aichmophobia actually is. Now, there are two words here that are absolutely key: persistent and irrational. See, aichmophobia isn't just a fleeting worry. It's this constant, overwhelming fear that just sticks around. And it's called irrational because the level of fear is completely out of proportion. I mean, way, way bigger than the actual threat a pencil or a pair of scissors might pose. And this is what makes this phobia so incredibly challenging. We're not talking about rare, exotic things here. The triggers are everywhere in our daily lives. Kitchen knives, sewing needles, scissors, even the point of a pencil or a shard of glass. For someone with aichmophobia, the world can feel like it's just filled with potential threats.
So understanding the triggers is one thing, but what does this fear actually feel like? How does it show up in a person's mind and in their body?
Mentally, it's a storm. It's not just about being a little nervous. We're talking about an intense, gripping fear that can spiral into overwhelming anxiety or even a full-blown panic attack. People often describe this constant feeling of being tense, of being on edge, especially in places where sharp objects are common, like a kitchen or a doctor's office.
And that intense psychological storm, it has very real physical consequences. The body's fight or flight system just kicks into overdrive. This can mean trembling, breaking out in a sweat, feeling sick to your stomach, or having a heart that's just racing. It's the body screaming, "Danger!" even when the logical part of the mind knows it's safe.
So you have to wonder, where does a fear this powerful even start? Let's dig into some of the potential origins.
As you can see, there really isn't one single answer. For some people, it might stem from a specific traumatic event, like a bad cut or injury from the past. For others, it can be a learned fear, something they picked up from watching a parent or family member who is also anxious. It can also be tied to a much deeper fear of accidentally harming yourself or someone else, or it might be just one symptom of a bigger, underlying anxiety disorder.
Understanding the causes is so important, but what truly defines a phobia is the impact it has. Let's take a look at how aichmophobia can actively get in the way of a person's life. I mean, think about it. Simple, everyday activities suddenly become huge hurdles. Cooking a meal can be genuinely terrifying. Essential medical care, like getting a vaccine, might feel completely impossible. Even school or work gets stressful if it involves tools like scissors or even pens. This constant avoidance can really lead to a loss of independence and freedom.
Okay, but after seeing all those challenges, it is so important to remember that the story does not end with fear. There is absolutely a clear path to recovery and to regaining control. And the great news is that aichmophobia is very treatable. Therapies like CBT, that's cognitive behavioral therapy, help people to change those fear-related thought patterns. Then there's gradual exposure therapy, which involves safely and slowly reintroducing sharp objects in a controlled way to build up tolerance. These are often paired with relaxation techniques to manage the anxiety, and in some severe cases, medication can be a really helpful tool too.
And there's a key insight from the research that really just says it all. This isn't just some hopeful idea, it's a proven outcome. With the right help, with a good support system, people can and absolutely do overcome this fear.
So the main takeaway from all of this is simple, but it's incredibly powerful. Recovery is possible. There is always a way forward. And that kind of brings us to our final thought. While we focused on one specific phobia today, the journey of confronting something that terrifies you, that's universal. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? What could we all accomplish if we faced our fears?